so much for having me. And I'm really excited about what's happening in England because I wish it was like this 20 years ago when I landed. I was speaking to her and I was saying I was so impressed by your presentation. Honestly, I really think that the road you walked, you did not do justice in the presentation that you did because there is power in the journey that you walked. And what I think we would, for me personally, I would love for you to open up to us about the loneliness in the background. Because that's what's not spoken about. For me, as an entrepreneur, 20 years in England, it's very cold. It's very lonely. It's like that image we saw she presented in Antarctica. Because I am a black African woman from Zimbabwe. I came as a nurse, and in April 2020, when I landed in West Midlands, in Wolverhampton, in the care home when I was doing my adaptation, the patients would come to me and say, "Is this really your color?" Those are the stories, I think, personally, that we need to share with you guys. Because that's what gave me, her, the resilience. Now, this skin, it may look brown, but inside, it's great. It's an elephant skin. And I can stand in any room and I will challenge the status quo. And I will own the space and I will own the ground. Because I am on a mission. And when I'm gone, you guys must be talking about that little girl from Zimbabwe. That changed the digital I want you, when you leave this room today, in your areas of influence, no matter how big, no matter how small, that area of influence is. I want you to own it. To say, I'm here, I'm present, I am the change, I am diversity, I am the doctor, I am the surgeon, I am whatever that is, you are. And then when you own it, you deliver on it. You are excellent. Where everybody else is doing 100%, you are doing 150%. Did she really do that? And you'll be like, yeah, right? Like I said, I like walking around. I don't know how I'm going to be confined here. Somebody needs to be controlling us. Right, so, quick introduction, right? I was just getting you guys to wake up because you are too quiet. Right, so, inclusive digital transformation in healthcare. This is like the posh name of what I do, but today I'm gonna, like I said, include you and talk to you, and I want you to be doing the work. So let's do this. Now, health tech entrepreneurship. I've just told you that I'm a nurse by profession. Now, you guys are more educated than I am when I landed in England, you know. I didn't become what I wanted to be because my parents could not afford it. So you guys, number one, you have got advantage, which you need to be aware of. If you were not acutely aware, you have advantage. There's another child somewhere here in the UK or in Africa or somewhere in the world who would have wanted and loved to be a doctor. And they are so brilliant, they are so brainy, but they can't. So for you, never take that for granted. I was brainy. If I was number 2 in my class, my dad would beat me to death. I was supposed to be number 1. But when it came to writing my GCSEs, he could not afford it. The community and my sister had to contribute for me to write my GCSEs. So I don't take that for granted. So that's the foundation. I'm just giving you perspective, right? And then from there you arrive in United Kingdom, England, where you're African, you're black, and you're a woman. Okay? Perspective, right? Anyways, and then we are going digital. So you don't get to England and sit pretty and think you have arrived. I'm sorry, you don't do that. You know why? Because you being here, like I'm saying to you, you are on an assignment, you're on a mission. Take this like your mission. And know that this is called favor. Because at the end of the day, you are ethnic minority in United Kingdom. Whether you like it or not, if nobody had told you, let me tell you today, you are ethnic. What? Yes, you need to be aware of that. So with that awareness gives you power. That's your superpower. That's your superpower, because where there is 100 women in a room, there are probably going to be 1 or 2 black women. So for me, that's majority. I'm sorry, because I'm going to stand up and say, where they say diversity, I am diversity. Here is diversity, all of it, right here. So let's do diversity stuff, okay? So I'm just giving you perspective. That's how you need to own the space. Own your minorityness, your Africanness, so this here, own that. Don't look to change it, but know how to use it to effect change in your small area of influence, then where you can, in your bigger area of influence. Right? So, we are going to look at that. So for me, this is my journey. I do have a whole website where I talk about these things because I am very passionate about it, like I've said. I wish I had had someone in a room giving me this conversation 20 years ago, because I would have done way much more than I'm doing today. So it's my job to help you have perspective. So anyway, that's my story and that's my journey. So that whole journey of entrepreneurship, being a nurse in the UK, I only worked for a year. I knew that I'm not going to work for anyone. I knew it and I know it today. My job is to create and innovate in my head, build the teams, make the money, because without money, you can't impact change either. So you need the tools. So as an entrepreneur, by the year I was second year in that care home, I started a recruitment business. Me and my husband, we decided the recruitment business, and the rest is history. Anyway, things happen along the journey. The recession, 2008, 2009 happened. And when the recession happened, we lost 95% of the business. We were one of the 100% biggest supplier of staffing to the NHS. Nurses, doctors, allied professionals. We had offices across England, 5 offices. I employed more than 40 people across the offices. And how do you deal with it? You wake up one day, all the emails from all the NHS trusts saying contracts are cancelled. That's what the recession done to me. But I made a choice. I wasn't going to let this kill me. Right? So lesson number 2. In your areas of influence, in leadership, every day you are making difficult decisions that decide where you are going to go tomorrow. I could have done the business and went back with my team. I still have a team member. So I could have gone back and worked as a bedside nurse. But that wasn't what I knew I'm meant to be. Okay? So I done the crying, done the praying, and all that stuff that we all do to get my inner strength renewed. And every day I would wake up, put on my makeup, and turn up at that office. My staff, my teams, up to this day, if you ask any of them, did they knew that the businesses were going to go into administration? None of them will tell you that they knew it. Because this girl here made sure everything front-end was working perfectly fine. In the background, I was burning. I was burning with needing to know what litigation I was going to deal with, ending people's contracts, short notice. You don't just sack people in the UK. You don't just wake up and decide, I don't have a job for you anymore. There is what we call employment law. So you know what the recession did for me? It took me to university. University of Employment Law. That's what it did. I engaged legal team, accountant, my bank, everyone. We were in a room. Previous speakers have spoken. You need a good support system and good mentors behind you. That's really important. in a room, we sat. That's when the university was starting. Yeah? So now, I know how to deal with employment law, how to make people redundant and all that. I know that law inside out. I know how to put a business into administration, in and out and in and out and in and out. That's knowledge. Now, this girl equipped with that, you can't catch her. Because I know what the law says on my side and on the other side. The previous speaker spoke about how important it is to take risks and go through experiences. But what is important is what you pick through those experiences or what you do with it. Now you guys, you are in the medical profession of the United Kingdom, of the Queen of England, who's just celebrated 70 years as a queen, who runs the Commonwealth from which you countries you come from. And you tell me you don't grasp that power that you guys have in your hands right now? Right now, the world is undergoing this trend of diversity and inclusion and change and trying to include everyone. That everyone is you and me today. There is a door open. There is a seat at the table. She's just mentioned the positions that are there in the big bodies that you guys need to occupy. So I am giving you a mandate from today to make a decision which seat you want to sit, because when I meet you 10 years from now, you must tell me, Fungai, that day when I left that room, this was my decision, and this is what I went and done, and this is the seat I now occupy. I'm now president of this. That's what I want to hear. There is no excuse, because there is now a seat at the table. And that seat has got your name written on it. Your job is to go and find the seat. Yeah? Okay, so we are going to do that. So that's my website, fundamentalmura.org. You will be able to go and see all the work that I do and go and read. Yes. This is our current position in the UK. Urgent action is needed to tackle deep and wide health inequalities in England. Did you know that we have got deep and wide health inequalities in England? Did you know that? And you and me have a job today to be part of the people who are solving the problems. I do not want to hear anybody moaning and complaining, because you sit with the answer. I sit with the answer. The table has been laid and you are invited to the table. I'm going to show you the statistics, how we add them here. If you were not aware, I've pulled the stats for you from the King's Fund report. Those living in most deprived areas spend over 1/4 of their lives in poor health, and that follows them the rest of your life. And by the way, let me make it clear for you. These areas we are talking about, you may not probably by now be living in these areas, but when we all arrive in England, we live in these areas. So our loved ones, or maybe some of us, we still are living in this area, so we are part of those statistics. Let me just make it real. Right? So in medicine and in healthcare, we have got a big job to do to solve these problems, compared to everybody else who have got a 6th in less deprived areas. And by the way, health inequalities is not something that you experience health inequality here today and you think, oh my gosh, I now got money, I can do better, let me jump. I'm now in a better. Your health inequalities you had here, your mental health, your physical health, your social problems, your economic problems, they follow you. You know why? Because you may find yourself starting to become better and having a better quality of life, but the stresses of your loved ones, they follow you. You still have to meet the bills or send money to your loved ones. Those stresses, they still affect you, so you cannot separate yourself from the problem. And then, I have said here, Melanin Medics, you have got a key role to play. And your role is to get involved from today. Now, I have put here for you what I was just saying to you earlier on. I am here, I am present, I am relevant. You need to say this to yourself. Every single day, when you wake up, unfortunately this profession, by the way, let me give you a tip as well. It's not a profession that you think, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna do this and leave it home. Because you have gone into a profession that becomes an extension of your personal life. So you better make a decision, what do I enjoy in this profession like she did here? She found joy and peace in pursuing geriatric medicines, and she's now making a difference. So you better make that decision now. And then you say, I am here to be the change, to bring value, and I can see what's up there, and to contribute. So you have a role to play. It's not like you're just going to be in class and come out. You have made this choice, that's why you are here today, right? You have got a role to be involved. My previous speaker was showing us how she's being involved from where she comes from. For me, I told you, I come from Zimbabwe. So I will talk about my digital journey. We are coming to it, but I want to give you perspective, right? So I still go back home and get involved when I go for a holiday. I'll take a week or something because I've got work that I'm doing back home. Going in the communities and helping blood pressures, blood sugars. I'm passionate about diabetes and hypertension. I was just saying to someone, my father and my father-in-law died in 2004, a week apart from undiagnosed diabetes. They were both known hypertensive patients, and that has never left me from day one. So do I want to also go through that? No, I want to be the change. So I am interested in helping people monitor their diabetes and their hypertension, just for them to be healthy and live longer. Yeah? So that you can be involved in small or big ways. You can be involved. And I've looked at how can we be involved in this digital transformation. Now, if you go on my YouTube channel, I do have a YouTube channel, by the way, because I'm a keen person. My YouTube, my Instagram, they are all buzzing. So if you go on my YouTube, you will have lots of videos for the next 3 months. You can just be watching. This video about this particular table which I did, how we can address inequalities, is there as well. So I have said, inequitable access to user-centered technology designed for every patient. Now, I have put the keywords, culturally and linguistically competent. Recently, last month, they did a survey, and I was amazed that that survey was in English only. For me, it's small things that amaze me, right? But that survey is to address health inequalities. Now, health inequalities for who? Right? So, me and you have a role to play to make sure that we influence cultural changes, language changes. How does it serve a patient when you have to speak to them in English, which is not their first language, and you are consulting about their health? Now you tell me, how does that help that patient if they are not going to understand all these jargon in the medical space, right? So it's small things if we bring them back. Now all I'm saying is we are going digital. Right now we were in traditional where you could sit face to face and speak to someone, they could relate, they could connect with you. Now they have to be using their mobile phone or their device to connect with you. But they don't even know the true meaning of those words written on those devices because they are not in a language that they understand. And we are here saying diversity and inclusion. So all I'm saying is diversity and inclusion has to be in application as well. Me and you have a role to play because you know what? In technology, the role you can do, you can contribute to a tech company. By your knowledge of those keywords, what do they mean in whatever languages? So you could help us translate technologies into so many different languages from the medical perspective. That's a good example I can give you. So that there is inequitable access to user-centered technologies that can serve a geriatric who speaks Igbo, is it? Yes, so we need apps and dashboards that are in that language so that when you are consulting that patient, they can relate to what we're saying. When you give them instructions, they'll be able to go and use their iPhone, but the iPhone is in their language. That's one good example I can give you. Right, so I've said to harness tools, the health service to reach and engage with, how to reach vulnerable people. These are the people that I've just described. And me and you will live with those people. My mom, my dad, my auntie, we are those people. Inequitable access to medical expertise, which is you guys. And we are saying that access must include the cultural competences. And now I am very passionate about these two little letters. Artificial intelligence. It is very important for us to have acute awareness of how artificial intelligence is going to impact how we interact with the rest of the world from today, a few years from now, in medicine. You know why? Because when AI is being built, decisions are being made, these tools are being made, we are not at the table to give even our cultural perspective, even our understanding perspective. So now when these technologies are brought for us to be used on the patients that we serve, who are the minorities over here, but back home in Africa where we come from, they are the majority, artificial intelligence is going to be biased. The already existing biases today are going to be even more. So we here have got a role to play to be engaged in the conversation. How is AI being developed right now in health tech to serve these populations? And what can I do to contribute in the continuous development of that AI? You must be very concerned that you have Alexa, and when you ask Alexa what to do, Alexa doesn't understand you. You must be very concerned. Because right now, some patients are already using Alexa to manage their health. So AI is an area where we all need to take keen interest. And then, inequitable access to reliable, trusted health information. Now, in 2020, our Checkup Health, we won an award to do a small pilot, 70 patients, remotely health monitor them, and that was as a result of us responding to black people dying the most more than the white counterparts. One of our findings was our demographic for the ethnic minority, we were not responding as much to the messages from the government, we all know this, for one reason or the other, because maybe our findings were the people did not trust the system. We just don't trust the center. So, what I'm saying is, how are we going to contribute to the demographic that we want to serve, to trust the center? We can be the bridge. And how can we be the bridge? Probably by getting involved with the technology company that's serving this demographic and creating solutions for them so that when messages are coming, you can be involved. I don't know, I'm just giving you an example, but that's how we can be involved. And then inevitable support to access digital healthcare, monitoring preventative tools and interventions. And I put here culturally and linguistically competent. Are we inclusive by design, prioritizing equity and access? Have we built foundations of trust, putting ethics first? Now, everyone in this room, you work in the medical arena. I've just got a question. How are you getting involved? I'm going to leave you with this question. In everything going digital, what are you doing? Or you are just at the receiving end and say, this week, this month, we are supposed to be now using these systems to serve the patients. And you're saying, yes, boss, let's do it. Are you giving feedback? Are you saying it's working? Does it work for people who look like you or feel like you? Is it working? So I'm just starting conversations, which I feel that everybody must be getting involved. Interoperability is one key area where everything must be able to operate with everything that's coming. And then citizen access point, primary points, and representation. So I put here representation because, like I'm saying, in your small area of influence, you can be a representative of that small group of people, whether it's workplace or wherever. What we know is that in our groups and in our societies, wherever we come from, as long as we've come here from somewhere, we have got our own little groups that we belong to. If you really go back home and assess and check on yourself, do you think you've integrated with the system, with the bigger system? On a scale of 1:10, how much have you integrated? And if it's like looking like that today, how is that going to look like in the digital? Just imagine it, right? How is it going to look like? So on that note, what I've done, I've put some post-it notes on your desks and on your table. And I want to challenge you to you writing. To be interesting because I will take that away. Don't put your name, but I want to take that away and I'll give feedback to the team that arranged this conference. For you to tell us, on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you think you've integrated with the whole system here where you live right now? No matter how many, I've been here 20 years. And on that scale, I know where I am. And so that's number 1 on that scale. And then number 2, your commitment. What are you going to do? And then lastly, just note down your biggest challenge today is with your day-to-day and stuff like this and all this that is happening around us in your role. What is your biggest challenge? Because I've just shared with you, for me, my challenge is that it's very lonely, the world that I live in. But I've got that acute awareness that I now use that loneliness to my advantage and to push for the health equality change that I desire, that I would love to see. So thank you so much. That's how you can contact me while you're writing your notes. I am on Instagram, Fongai_Njemira. I share my everything about it, not everything, but what I like to share. I am on YouTube. I am on LinkedIn connecting. I am an avid investor in startups. I love investing in startups to do with health tech and fintech. And I believe that for me, I have a purpose. I was brought to England to be the change maker, but really my big job is in Africa. So I've got keen interest in changing the whole landscape of digital in Africa, and I'm definitely involved with that. Thank you. Oh, sorry, by the way, the post-it notes, can you give them just a minute to stick them here?